Hi YouTube. So, before the video starts, some crazy stuff happened. My dog literally, when we got back from a walk, my dog Lua spit out a tooth. One of her teeth fell out because she's old and she almost choked on it, but thankfully, because she was coughing and baring her teeth, and I was like, what? And then she ended up spitting it out. And then, what is it called? Then, I gotta tell the story, my brain ain't working. It's just trying to process too much, I guess. My brain fog is so fucking bad right now. Her tooth fell out, but she was coughing and she spit it out then. So then my siblings and parents were worried, but then we looked up, my mom looked up some healing modalities, and they're going to get this mouthwash thing that you could put in their water in order for her teeth to keep clean and have chews and stuff. So we're taking care of that. And then, what else? There was something else I was going to say, but yeah. Got my lipstick on again or lip gloss, I mean, because I thought, hey, I can't look half fancy, so therefore I have my lip gloss on. My friend actually got this for me, so shout out to my friend. My friend Elena got this for me, and it was a lipstick thing that lip gloss thing that she bought. It was from, I may have to link the name in the description below of what it was, because I forgot the name, but it was from a YouTuber selling the product, I'm pretty sure, a beauty influencer, whatever, so yeah. Okay, so on to the actual video. So I have a little update on my autism diagnosis. So basically, I got an email from the clinic that I reached out to. It's actually a clinic from a college, and it's actually the college that I enrolled in and that I'm going to go to this fall. And I ended up getting an email back, and they said, hey, we could put you on a waiting list, but it's a year-long waiting list, so therefore I'm gonna have to wait until summer of 2005 in order to get diagnosed with autism, or they'll just say, oh, you don't have it again, which, I mean, roll my eyes because I don't know. But yeah. So there's that. I'm going to have to wait for a while, either find another place or wait for a while, which I'm fine with waiting, honestly, and I might even get the opportunity to get the diagnosis sooner, since I'm going to the disabilities office at my school in order to get accommodations, and they might have a way where I'm able to get the diagnosis sooner, but I'm not really 100% sure because, again, I want it to be a cheap place. I don't want it to be costing thousands of dollars just to get misdiagnosed again, because I've had those experiences where my speech therapist tried to diagnose me when I was around 4 years old or something, and then she ended up going back and forth between me having it and not having it, and she was almost going to diagnose me with it, but she didn't because I had a sense of humor and I had creativity, which obviously that's stereotypes that people with autism don't have creativity or a sense of humor, even though we do. So there we go. So I'm saying we do as if I have it, but here's the thing, I'm not diagnosed. I gotta make that disclaimer before I talk more about autism, because I'm going to talk about symptoms that I do have that are related to autism, and I'm 99% sure that I have it, 99.9% sure I have it, but there's still this uncertainty behind it. But I'm pretty sure because actually one of the things is that I can relate to a lot of the autism meme things, and you may say that's a small thing and that, oh, anyone could really relate to it, but it just like, dude, like, it's just that combined with a lot of other things. So yeah, basically memes about autism is my therapy pretty much in that regards, because the thing is that I don't really have I can't really find a therapist who really specializes in that kind of thing. So therefore, yeah, I mean, I have therapy for my other issues, but when it comes to autism, I kind of just deal with that on my own, because I know that not a lot of people are up to date with what's going on in that field, and I feel as if I've even researched and kind of know more accurate information than most psychologists do, because most psychologists don't specialize in this thing. I mean, there's definitely people who know more about it than me, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, a lot of regular psychologists don't really have the training in that, and if they do, then it was based on more the stereotypes and misinformation of it than what it actually is, and fully the exceptions to the rule of this box that they put it in. And yeah, so there's that. Whew. I have a lot written down, actually. I completely I blanked out and forgot what I said just there. I don't know why, but yeah. I guess we'll just start off with the things that are on my little checklisty thingy, and then I'll go from there. So actually, one thing that kind of has to do with this notebook sort of thing is that sometimes I prepare for my videos ahead of time. For example, I need to write down each thing that I'm going to say, otherwise I'm going to forget it, or I'm going to jumble on my words and not know what to say or how to word things. So therefore, sometimes I'll rehearse the intro that I'm going to say in my head in order to know what I'm going to say so that it doesn't sound like a jumble of words. And then also to add on, I sometimes rehearse what I'm going to say for each video, the main point, not the whole thing. I don't make a whole script or anything, but the main point of what I'm going to say, because otherwise I'm going to veer off into different topics and it's going to be a jumbled mess, and then I'm going to end up not saying what I wanted to say in the whole video. So therefore, I'm going to have a problem, and I tend to veer off into different topics and get stuck on those instead of sticking to the point. I have a problem with that. And Also, I rehearse difficult conversations. I sort of, um, I think to myself, okay, what am I going to say? And then I say it in my head, and I imagine myself saying it to the other person because I have a lot of anxiety when it comes to making those difficult conversations with other people because I can't really communicate what I want or my feelings that well, so therefore I need to rehearse it in my head in order to feel more safe about it and to not just shut down during the whole thing. Instead, I'm prepared so that I'm able to communicate effectively what I want or how I'm feeling about a certain situation. Or sometimes I get to a point where it's just too much for me and I'll have to send a text instead. That's usually what I do, honestly, if it's a big thing or something, is I send a text to people instead of confronting them in person because it's just too overwhelming for me to communicate through my voice and communicate feelings or that sort of thing because usually I'm the type to just shut down with that sort of thing. And then also to add on, I think of conversations, what to say during the conversation. I will be sitting in a group of people and I'll be thinking, okay, what should I say? And then I sort of like rehearse it in my head and then I say it. There's also some times where I want to say a specific thing in a conversation and I'm afraid that I'm not going to be able to put in all my input because the thing is that it's hard for me to talk in group settings, especially or even just one-on-one, because the person or the people will be talking on and on and on, but I'll have something to add and then I don't know how to assert myself, or I don't really want to interrupt the other people while they're conversing, but then so therefore, once I get a pause, then I'll just say what I sort of rehearsed in my head while they were talking. And I won't want people to interrupt that because if someone tries to say something that I kind of just, I mean, it's not like the whole thing where I'm going to like completely ignore what they're saying if they're saying something like that, but I'll just feel really irritated if someone interrupts me while I'm speaking because I had this thing all planned out, but then it just didn't go that way. And then also to add on, just also the whole thing of they've gotten to speak and express themselves and in the correct way, while I feel like if I don't say everything that I was thinking of saying, then therefore I'm not going to be perceived in the right way. So therefore I hate being misunderstood, so therefore I'm going to rehearse it in order to know how to say it, sort of thing. And then once I get done with everything I wanted to say and such, then I just stay quiet, listen and stuff. But when I'm saying something or something along those lines, I really need other people to just hear out what I'm saying and then add on their own thing, because otherwise if people interrupt me while I'm trying to say my point, then I'll completely forget the point that I was trying to make and then it will turn into an issue. So yeah, I was thinking that some of these examples, I reflected on it and I'm thinking, this might be scripting, because I thought I didn't have scripting because a lot of people with autism who make videos on YouTube, or just people in general who have it, talk about how they script conversations, how they have certain phrases that they say and come up with. And I didn't think I had that, but now I'm realizing maybe this is a form of scripting, in the sense that I'm trying to think of what to say, sort of thing, and it's a very concrete thing to where, okay, I'm going to say it in this way, or I'm going to say these exact words or something, and then I end up saying those exact words that I came up with, pretty much. And sometimes if it's a difficult conversation, then it takes me a while to come up with, okay, what's going to be the perfect way in order to come up with this sort of thing. And then I remember this is a pretty straightforward example of scripting, but I remember as a kid, my mom told me a story about how when I was around 4 or so, I recited a whole script of a TV show, Max and Ruby, as a kid. And Max and Ruby was basically this animated show about bunnies. It had bunnies in it. It was on, I think, Nickelodeon or something along those lines. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. I basically recited the whole episodes or parts of the show, and that is a form of scripting, I've heard. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is a form of scripting too, where basically scripting is trying to sort of mimic, in a way, or rehearse things that you're going to say in conversation, because it's not a natural thing for people who are on the spectrum to do. It's not like we can just speak out and say the right thing like someone who is neurotypical can, or a person who doesn't have a disorder that affects their communication, essentially. Yeah. I should have said, this is so unorganized. I should have organized this before. I should have said what scripting was, but hey, it's okay. I should have said all of that in the beginning. I was going to say it, but it's just that there's so much to remember to talk about that I didn't. I felt too lazy to write out each step and stuff. And speaking of writing out each step, one thing that I found very helpful for me, and I just found this out today, by the way, so this is a new little discovery that I found about me. I found out that I essentially get very overwhelmed when there's a broad task that I have to do. For example, I'm going back to college, and there's a lot of things that I have to do in order to go back to college and to get ready for that. And it's only, classes start in just a little more than a month away, and essentially, or less than 2 months away, basically. Sorry, I'm tired and a bit burned out, but it's okay. Yeah, so I get burnt out very easily. What was I saying? Oh yeah, So there's a lot of things I have to do to prepare for school. For example, I need to get my disability meeting and process done before getting accommodations for my room because I'm trying to get a single room. I have to register for my classes. I have to go to orientation. But the thing is that if I think about it all at once, then I get overwhelmed. Even if it's the section of, oh, I have orientation to go to. Well, that makes me feel stressed out still because it's a big, broad category. I'm like, okay, but what am I doing at orientation? What do I have to do? What kind of steps do I have to do in order to fulfill that? How do I have to prepare beforehand? And what should I expect from it? And also with the disability thing, there's a lot of different mini tasks that I have to do. For example, I have to go to the initial meeting, and then I'm probably going to have to give them some sort of documentations. What should I expect from this meeting? How should I prepare for this meeting in order to say the right things? Everything. And it's a lot of tasks at once, so I found out that task analysis can help me with that. I found this out today. It basically breaking up this broad category into smaller steps, and it's a nice thing to have because I'm finally finding accommodations for myself that I can implement myself and try to work through on my own and be able to live an easier life and be able to function better. And it's something that I'm going to try to use more often because, again, I get very overwhelmed by seeing all the tasks all at once and not knowing like what steps I have to take in order to do it. And I heard that task analysis is kind of a it's common for people with autism or sensory processing disorder to use that method. So therefore, I'm thinking to myself, I mean, I'm already diagnosed with sensory processing disorder, but I'm thinking, maybe this is another sign that I do have autism. I'm on the spectrum of it or whatever. And yeah. So there's another thing. And then also, this is another thing about my childhood. But basically, I was almost diagnosed with it. My mom said that my speech therapist, I went to a speech therapist because I wasn't talking. And they basically said, oh, well, you were able to articulate stuff, okay. You just didn't want to talk or something. So that was the whole thing, and they never really figured out why. And I went to the speech therapist, and she almost diagnosed me with it, but she didn't because I didn't meet a few of the criteria. And then my mom said that few of criteria or something was that I didn't have a sense of humor and I didn't have creativity or something like that. Wait, I'm just remembering now. I think I already said this. Oh, I said this at the beginning of the video. Shit. It's fine though. Yeah. Okay. Well, we can move on from that then. But yeah, just interesting how I could have been diagnosed with it, literally. And now it's just like, I had to go through this whole process of thinking that I was just defective as a kid, and then now I'm going through this stress of thinking, hey, what if I actually don't have it even though I know that I have something? And it's hard. And the fact that I didn't get accommodations at all after getting off my IEP around, I think I was around 7 or something, and I got off my IEP, and then basically it went from me having support to having nothing and just, here, go to school. And then I wasn't even aware of my symptoms, honestly. I did not know anything. I always knew in the back of my head that people saw me as weird or something, but I did not know why. Until now. But, yeah. So, now I'm more aware, but I did not. I did not really show any symptoms during, or at least I wasn't aware of my symptoms during high school or anything, so therefore, I don't know. I just was completely unaware of everything, pretty much. Okay. There's a couple other things that I want to talk about different symptoms that I have. One of them is being sad for no reason and sleeping for no reason, or no reason. I have a hard time with identifying why I feel overwhelmed, or why I feel sad, or why I feel sleepy, or shit. Because actually, just the past couple days, I've taken a nap, basically. And I don't know why that's the case, because sure, I mean, maybe I'm getting an hour less sleep or something, but I'm still getting sleep. And also to add on, yeah, I don't know, just odd, because I think I got enough sleep the other day, but then I ended up passing out for 4 hours. So it's just like, what is going on? I don't really know, because none of my routine really changed. I might just be burnt out or going through depression sort of thing, but I just don't know the cause of it, and it's weird. And then also to add on, I don't know the cause of my discomfort sometimes, because sometimes I'll just feel so irritable and I'll feel so burnt out while having to text people or while talking to people or hanging out with people, and I have no idea why I feel so irritated. Because I think to myself, oh, well, I already did self-care stuff, though. And it's literally all the time. All the freaking time. And I'm just thinking to myself, why am I so burnt out all the time? Why am I so irritated all the time? Why do I literally never want to... Why is socializing so exhausting for me? Literally. Because literally all the time, sometimes I think to myself, I wish that I didn't have to text people, or I wish that I didn't have to, like, do this thing, or I wish that I didn't have to do anything. And it's, socializing is so exhausting. I'm not even kidding. And I just like, dude, I just want to curl up in my little ball and just do nothing for a while. Because I'm getting burnt out. Okay. I just want to relax and listen to my music and watch a show or something. I don't want to socialize 24/7. That's partially because I'm an introvert, but it feels as if even though I'm a pretty socially awkward and shy person, I still feel this way, to where I won't necessarily even be talking to people that much, but I'll still feel burned out socially over the smallest shit. And it's a bit annoying, honestly, but at the same time, what can you do, really? I just hope that when I get my full-time job that I'm not too burnt out, because I'm going to become a therapist and I'm going to have to talk to people all day. And okay, I love the idea of being a therapist, but I'm just thinking to myself, am I going to be too burnt out to even be attentive to other people? Or am I going to have issues with that? Because I'm not really 100% sure, because I could get very burnt out and irritated pretty easily, and to add on, I have a hard time with hiding that. It's not like I could just push through and go on, really. I start feeling this internal dread and feel like screaming when I'm burnt out, and I know that I'm not really in the state to socialize. But the thing is that that's literally happens all the time, so I can't really do anything about it. And I kind of just have to deal with that feeling, and it sucks. And sometimes I don't even know why I'm having that feeling. I don't know if it's because I'm angry, or if it's because I'm drained socially, or if it's because of some other thing. I have no fucking clue. And even though I try to do, wait. Even though I try to self-reflect and look up psychology things and such, I still have this feeling of I don't actually really know myself, and how can I know my feelings when I can't really identify them that well. I have this one app that's helping me be able to know what my emotions are more, because it gives the word, but then it also gives a definition, and I'm like, oh, I'm feeling this or something. But I kind of fell off the wagon with that the past couple of days, just because I've been busy, because my grandparents were over yesterday, and then also with just all the funeral stuff and everything that's been happening, I've just been a bit too busy to keep up with that. But I'm definitely going to use that more because it's helpful. But the thing is that sometimes I just literally don't know, because nothing bad happened, nothing really triggered it, so it just like, well. But anyways, yeah, it's common with people with autism to have struggles with identifying their emotions and knowing where different bodily sensations are coming from. That me, because sometimes I'll be having stomach issues, and I'm like, okay, so is this anxiety, or is this due to my gastric reflux? Because I think I have the gastric reflux because sometimes when I eat greasier food and stuff, I end up, my stomach hurts so fucking bad, and I have chills and stuff, and it's horrible. So, yeah, there we go. A strong one. I get through this. And then I have one other note. So it says, I feel like I always upset people, but I don't know why I upset them. For example, I remember, it keeps on popping into my mind the idea that some people, well, one person said, yeah, it sounds like you're saying an innuendo to something, and then it's just like, well, what do you mean I'm saying an innuendo? And then they didn't give a specific example, and then now I'm afraid. I'm just like, am I giving innuendos or something? Like, am I, like, because I think I'm being straightforward, but I have no idea. But I have no idea. Weird. I mean, sometimes it's a bit of an innuendo type thing, but I feel like, I don't know, it just, in this, like, with this particular person in this, like, particular conversation, I didn't think that I really did any innuendos. But then again, I have no idea what they're referring to, so therefore I'm just blank. I don't know. And it happens a lot where people will just be upset at me, and then I'm just like, wait, what did I even say to upset you, or something? Or, for example, also to add on, sometimes I'll be driving the car. Well, I haven't recently because I got into an accident and don't want to drive for a while, but that's besides the point. So I'll be driving, and then someone will honk their horn. This happened the other day when I was driving. It was when I was driving to my friend's house and ended up getting into that accident. And then this car ended up honking their horn at me or something, because I was basically driving down this hill, and I was driving slowly and about to stop, but then the light turned green, so I ended up going because the light turned green, and I was behind the line before the light turned green. But then a car honked at me, and I was like, what? I don't know. I mean, I didn't really know that there was any rule that I thought that green meant go. I don't know. Like, I don't know. But yeah, I really yeah, I have no idea. And then there was this other time where there was a car honking at me, and I was like irritated, like, why were they honking at me? But then I realized that I didn't have my headlights on, and that was why they were honking at me, but I was too dumb to realize that. So, therefore, I'm just completely unaware of basically everything socially or indirectly that people are trying to say. I have no idea unless you say it straight up to me what I did or what was done. Because here's the thing with a lot of just people in general, but also like mainly probably neurotypical people, but also it probably is the same with people who are neurodivergent, probably do the same thing, honestly, to where people just think that if they say like, oh, I'm upset by this, or they display that they were upset by something, then you'll just automatically know what you did wrong. Even though for me personally, I don't know what I did wrong. Like, half of the time I do not know. I mean, unless it's like a completely, if it's like something where it's like I completely fucked up and made a big mistake, then yeah, I mean, I should know. And I do know. But if it's something really small to where I worded something wrong, or I made a flip up or small mistake, then I'm not really going to know. I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to explain it to me in detail, because once you explain it to me, once you explain why you're upset, then I'll understand. But if you don't explain why you're upset at me, then I won't understand. And sometimes they'll say, oh, well, I was upset because you said this, but then I won't understand, well, why did that make you upset them? And then they'll have to explain to me. And then I'm just like, oh, that's what it is. Okay. And then I understand. But the thing is that I don't understand if it's not explained to me, like, explicitly. Because sometimes I end up just trying to infer why the other person was upset just by the knowledge that I do have and previous experiences. But then it ends up being the case where I say, oh, you were upset probably because of this. But then they were like, no, I wasn't upset because of that. I was upset because of something completely different. And I'm just like, oh, well, I just don't know. Like, I tried to think of it, but then it just, I can't. I can't for the life of me understand this whole social construct. I just don't understand. Please explain it to me, because I really see, this is why people annoy me, is because like, or just the world in general, it's not really people, but the world in general, I just don't like how social things go, and I hate how nothing is direct, it's always indirect, and you need to know these indirect rules, otherwise you're going to be punished. It's just like, dude, like, you never even told, like, I don't know. Like, the world never told me how to act. Like, you ain't giving me books. This ain't rock science. Like, or, wait, no. This isn't science class where you're telling me everything. It's not like a memorization thing. Like, I just have to know without even learning it. And it's just like, how do people have it ingrained in their brain that you're supposed to do something complex socially? Like, how do people know that? I have no idea. I mean, Okay, one thing I do have actually is that I can feel people's emotions sometimes, in a sense. I mean, it's more of a thing where I can feel that the energy is off just by people. I think it's mainly if someone behaves in a way that's different than before, then I realize, oh, this is out of the pattern of what they usually act like. So therefore, I think they're upset or they're feeling some type of emotion and such. Or obviously, if someone's crying or something or looks sad by their body language, then I know, hey, they might be upset. But yeah, that's one thing is that I can tell most of the time when people are upset, so I don't really have that problem. But I do have a problem with knowing social things and knowing what upsets people or offends people, because who fucking knows? I mean, it's different for everyone, and honestly, who knows unless you tell me directly, you know? And that's the big thing is that I don't like when things aren't told directly to me. It just like please be more direct. I don't know. I just wish that people were more honest and direct with their communication instead of just, you know, expecting other people to know. Which, I mean, I've been guilty of that, but at the same time, I'm trying to be better at realizing, hey, I actually have to communicate with other people in order to know what's actually going on. Because usually, when I don't ask, then I just make assumptions and then it ends up being completely wrong. So therefore, I just try to communicate more and stuff when I'm upset by things. And, because here's the thing is that I've been just ghosted by people for no fucking reason, or people just stop being my friend because of something that was a misunderstanding. And then yeah, it's just horrible. It's horrible because it could have just been talked out, or they could have just said, hey, this made me feel uncomfortable, and then I would have been like, oh, I'm sorry, or something. Like, it just like, it's exhausting. And honestly, I have no idea. I have no idea. I have no idea. But yeah. Okay, so there was something else I was like, oh yeah, I just remembered. I just remembered after a little bit thinking. It just popped into my head, so hopefully I don't forget about my ramble. Okay, maybe I should say it before I ramble too much. So basically, I saw this. I was on Instagram basically because my friend liked one of my comments from my post that I commented back, because she left a comment and then I commented on that comment and then she liked it. So I just clicked on Instagram and then looked at a notification, and then what I did was, sorry, there's like flies over there, and I was thinking, what if there's a wasp? But there isn't. I'm like, so I was on Instagram. Anyway, I was on Instagram and I saw this one page that was autism, and I was like, "Ooh, that cool! I'm gonna check this page." And then I was looking through it and like, oh, I can relate to that. Yeah. Finally. And then I looked in the comments for one of them when it said like autism and therapy, because honestly sometimes I found that before the therapist I have now, I really struggled with certain therapy methods, especially like CBT type stuff. I don't know why, but that sort of therapy I just don't do well with, because I have a hard time with, again, identifying emotions that I felt in a situation. And also to add on, I have a hard time with thinking that the thought is true, the thought that's supposed to be a positive thought, and it's like, oh, well, this is true. Well, yeah, but I didn't find it to be true, and I don't find it to be true, and I feel like there's evidence against it, and my evidence isn't really. They're just like, oh, well, yeah, but then it's like a generic thing, and then it's not actually addressing like the certain thing. And then there was this one comment that said, with CBT, it's hard for people with autism because we have, because, okay, what did the person say? The person said that a lot of people think that that people with autism just have social anxiety. But the thing is that we're having anxiety in sort of rational ways, or we think it's rational because of how we've been treated in the past by other people. So therefore, we're going to be thinking that we're going to be afraid because we get treated like trash, quite frankly, by other people. And that's the whole reason why we feel scared, is because we've tried to open up and be ourselves in the past, but then that was just put down by a lot of other people. So therefore, that tells us, hey, we can't be ourselves, and it's a hard thing. And that was the main thing, was that I've always felt as if, sure, people can say, oh, it's okay to be awkward, it's okay to be this, it's okay to be that. Yeah, but am I really okay? Like, people just don't understand me all the time, and I'm misunderstood all the time, and I'm put down all of the fucking time, and I feel different from everyone else. I feel this strong thing, and I honestly feel as if people fucking hate me. Like, they actually have hated me before, and it's not just this fear. People actually have hate me and still do hate me sometimes because of how they perceive me, essentially. So therefore, I'm not really being anxious. I'm just seeing the fucking truth, my dude. Like, I'm seeing the truth that a lot of people are ableist, let's be honest. But, yeah. Because here's the thing, is that, oh my god, I can't tell you how many times people have misjudged me, or basically just judged me, or essentially left me out of things, done certain microaggressions just because I was just sitting there and just who I was. And I have literally no idea why I'm really treated in that sort of way, but I could say all these theories all I want, but apparently I'm supposed to know why other people fucking hate me, but I don't fucking know. And it's hard because yeah, so any sort of CBT therapist who says, oh, well, you're loved by people. I'm loved, guys. It's not true, is the thing. That's the sad thing, is that I'm not really loved by other people because I'm autistic. So, therefore, I'm not going to be loved by anyone, honestly. Or at least I feel that way sometimes, because people, they think that they understand me and say that I'm just a normal person, but I don't feel like a fucking normal person, Susan. sorry, I always say Susan as the name, but just like, no offense to any Susans. I'm sure, I actually I've met a lot of nice Susans. So there's actually one person in particular that I like, they're nice, or just like people that I met before. Susans are nice, but that's just a generic name. Anyways, I feel, and that's literally the whole reason behind my sort of trajectory of life. You know, the whole reason why I feel like shit about myself and why I was bullied and why everything. It's literally because of undiagnosed autism. That's literally the whole reason why. And sure, there's different sort of things that come along with it, and there's other disorders and different things about me that I don't like. But autism is a big thing where, sure, I feel more at peace and proud of who I am, but also to add on, sometimes I still feel really ashamed of who I am too. And it's really hard for me to express myself without feeling like I'm going to be judged or I'm going to be made fun of and laughed at, because whenever I express myself in any sort of way, I just hear the backing track of the people who have laughed at me before. So therefore, it's sort of cycle that repeats, because it's not. I can't do it. Again, with not knowing what to say in the brain fog. Anyways, yeah. Actually, speaking on brain fog, I ran out of my Prozac pills. They're my anti-anxiety and depression pills because I got diagnosed with anxiety and depression. Yeah. And, you know, I only have one pill left for tomorrow, and then I'll have to get the rest. But I might go a couple days without taking it, and I'm afraid because what if something happens to me if I don't take it or something? And also, I don't know why, but I just feel so tired right now. I just want to take a nap, and I don't even know why I want to take a nap. I took my Prozac today because I had Prozac left. But I don't know why, but I've just been feeling so tired. I don't know why. And I feel like passing out whenever I can or sleeping, and even though I'm getting sleep, or maybe I'm not getting quality sleep is the thing. Maybe something is up. Because actually, I think today or something, I think I might have, I think a part of the reason why I have passed out for an hour today was because my body woke me up at 5:30 a.m. or so when I went to sleep. Well, my body took me to sleep around 10:30 though, so I don't know why. It's weird because I'm getting sleep, but it's just, I don't know why, but my body just wants to sleep all the time this week. And I think a part of it might be because I've just had a lot going on and I just want to relax from it all and just not have to really deal with everything, because again, with the accident and with all the stressors of getting everything ready for college coming up, and also just having to deal with the life changes and all, it's just a bit hard. And I think it's turning into a somatic type thing where my body is wanting me to fall asleep and is just shutting down or something. Maybe maybe that's why. But I literally have no idea. I have no idea. But yeah. So that's me on autism shit. I think that's all I wanted to say. At least I don't know. Maybe I forgot something. Sometimes I go to the I hit stop record, and then after an hour or so I realized that I forgot to say something that I wanted to say, and then I don't end up saying it. So see, that happens this time. No. Yeah. So anyway, I'm a sassy girl today. I mean, I wasn't really that sassy in this video, but I don't know, I've been just like that snap can't feel sassy. So yeah. So anyway, I don't know, is there anything else that I want to say? To the people in my head, do you have anything more to say? No, no one. The air doesn't said that there isn't anything else to say or anything like that. So yeah. But for real, I don't have anyone here, so I don't have anything else to say, so I should just stop recording. But thank you for watching this video, and yeah, I'm excited to be getting a diagnosis at some point, but I'm also really scared because I'm afraid that I'm going to be denied it again, even though I know that most likely, yeah, I have it. But anyways, thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Sayonara.